Hello and welcome to Open School, your one-stop channel for all your educational needs. Here at Open School, we're dedicated to delivering comprehensive, easy-to-understand, and engaging educational content for learners of all levels. Whether you're brushing up on basics or diving into complex subjects, we're here to guide you every step of the way. So buckle up and prepare to learn with us. And remember, learning is a journey, not a race. Today we're going to explore an essential grammar rule: Subject-Verb Agreement. Now, what does this mean? Well, in simple terms, it's the relationship between the subject of your sentence and the verb. They need to agree with each other in number. That means if your subject is singular, your verb should also be singular. On the flip side, if your subject is plural, your verb should be plural too. This rule is not just a fancy language trick, it's a fundamental part of how we communicate in English. Without it, our sentences could become confusing or misleading. Think of it as the glue that holds your sentence together, ensuring that your message is clear and your meaning is accurately conveyed. Now that we've scratched the surface of subject-verb agreement, are you ready to delve deeper? Let's dive into the world of subject-verb agreement and polish your grammar skills. Let's start with the first rule. Singular subjects need singular verbs. This rule may seem like grammar 101, but it's the foundation upon which we construct our sentences. So, let's dive into it without any delay. When we talk about singular subjects, we're referring to a subject that is just one person, one thing, or one idea. Now, these singular subjects require verbs that are also singular, meaning the verb corresponds to one action being done by that one subject. Let's illustrate this rule with some examples. Consider the sentence, "The cat runs fast." Here, the cat is our singular subject. It's one cat we're talking about, not two or three or a whole clouder of cats. And runs is our singular verb, expressing the action that our one cat is performing. Another example is, he eats an apple. Again, he is our singular subject, and eats is the singular verb that matches with it. Notice that the verbs runs and eats are in their singular form and not run or eat. The X at the end of the verb is a key indicator that it's in the singular form. Now you might be thinking, well, this rule seems straightforward enough. Why are we spending 2 whole minutes on it? And you're right. The rule in itself is simple, but the problem arises when sentences get a bit more complex, when there are multiple nouns or pronouns in a sentence, or when there are intervening phrases and clauses. It can sometimes become tricky to identify the true subject and ensure that the verb agrees with it. So, understanding this basic rule thoroughly is essential to navigate through more complex sentence structures. Remember, singular subjects need singular verbs. They're like 2 peas in a pod, always sticking together. So when you come across a singular subject, make sure to pair it with a singular verb. It's like a grammar dance, and once you get the rhythm, you'll never miss a step. Remember, singular subjects need singular verbs. Simple, right? Moving on to the second rule. Plural subjects need plural verbs. This concept is quite simple and straightforward. It's all about balance and harmony in a sentence, really. When you have more than one subject, you need a verb that matches that plural state. Let's break it down. When we talk about plural subjects, we're referring to more than one person, place, thing, or idea. For example, the words cats, books, trees, or ideas are all plural subjects because they represent more than one entity. Now, how about verbs? Well, in English, the plural form of a verb is usually its base form, without any added s or es at the end. So if we take the verb run, the plural form is still run. Let's put it all together. Say we have the subject cats and the verb run. Since cats is plural, we need to use the plural form of the verb, which is run. So the correct sentence is, the cats run fast, not the cats runs fast. The verb is in harmony with the subject. The same rule applies when your subject is a plural pronoun like they, we, or you. So if we have the subject they and the verb eat, the correct sentence is, they eat apples, not they eats apples. Once again, the verb agrees with the plural subject. It's like a dance. The subject and the verb must move in sync. If one is singular, the other must be too. If one is plural, the other follows suit. It's a little dance of agreement that makes our sentences clear and understandable. So to recap, when you have a plural subject, it needs a plural verb. It's all about maintaining balance and agreement in your sentences. This rule is simple, but it's crucial to remember when you're writing or speaking in English. So plural subjects always go with plural verbs. Got it? Let's discuss our third rule. Most indefinite pronouns are singular. Now, what does that mean? Well, indefinite pronouns are words that replace nouns without specifying which noun they replace. They include words like everyone, everybody, everything, nobody, nothing, someone, somebody, something, anyone, anybody, anything, each, either, neither, one, and so on. When we use these indefinite pronouns in a sentence, they are usually followed by a singular verb. This is because the pronoun is referring to an unspecified amount or number of people or things, but it's still considered a singular entity. Let's look at some examples to clarify this rule. Take the sentence, everyone is ready. Here, everyone is the indefinite pronoun and is, a singular verb, agrees with it. It wouldn't be correct to say everyone are ready, because everyone is singular, not plural. Another example is, something smells good. In this case, something is the indefinite pronoun and smells, a singular verb, is the correct choice. Saying, something smell good, would be grammatically incorrect because something is singular. It's important to note that there are a few exceptions to this rule. Pronouns like all or some can be singular or plural, depending on what they're referring to. For instance, all of the cake is gone. Here, cake is singular, so we use is. But in the sentence, all of the cakes are gone. Cakes is plural, so we use are. So, to sum up, most indefinite pronouns are singular and require singular verbs. It might seem tricky at first, but with practice you'll get the hang of it. And remember, language is a tool for communication. If people understand you, you're doing well. So, look out for those indefinite pronouns in your sentences, and make sure they're paired with the correct form of the verb. Remember, most indefinite pronouns require singular verbs. Keep that in mind. Alright, we've covered some essential rules of subject-verb agreement today. Let's quickly summarize them. We began with the basic principle that a singular subject needs a singular verb, and a plural subject needs a plural verb. This is the bedrock of subject-verb agreement, the rule that underpins all the others. For instance, the cat purrs, not purr, and the cats purr, not purrs. It's straightforward when you get the hang of it. Next, we discussed the rule that plural subjects need plural verbs. This might seem like a reiteration of the first rule, but it's worth emphasizing because of how often it comes up. An example we looked at was, the dogs bark, not the dogs barks. Remember, if there's more than one dog they bark, they don't barks. Then we moved on to the slightly trickier rule concerning indefinite pronouns. These are words like anyone, everyone, someone, no one, and so on. Despite referring to more than one person, these pronouns are singular and need singular verbs. So, we say, everyone is here, not everyone are here. A little counterintuitive, but with practice it becomes easier. Now let's add a few more examples to solidify your understanding. Consider the sentence, the team of scientists is working on a new project. Even though scientists is plural, team is the subject of the sentence and is singular, so we use is, not are. Similarly, with collective nouns like family or band, we use a singular verb when we think of the group as one whole unit, so we say, the band is playing tonight, not the band are playing tonight. But if we're thinking of the individuals within the group, we can use a plural verb. For instance, the team are wearing their new jerseys. Learning these rules is like learning to ride a bike. It might seem a little tricky at first, but with practice, it becomes second nature. And the beauty of language is that it's flexible. Once you understand the rules, you can start to play around with them, to express yourself in creative and interesting ways. That's it for today's lesson on subject-verb agreement. Keep practicing these rules and soon they'll become second nature. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more educational content. Happy learning!